What's going on, all you wild sadomasochist enthusiasts? It's your two favorite Pinhead impersonators back here for Cinephellas. We're back for more 31 Days of Hulu, and we got Pinhead right over there.
Yes, sir. What are we talking about? We're talking about Hulu's recreation of the 1987 Clive Barker film. We're talking about
Hellraiser.
I see you pray for.
Coming from huge horror fans, I would say Hellraiser franchise is probably my least favorite. I like the first few; they're okay, but they're just over the top. They're gory, flesh getting ripped off. It's not for the people with weak stomachs, I should say. But we return with David Bruckner directing the brand new reboot of Hellraiser that just hit Hulu over the past weekend. You guys may be familiar with his work. He did The Night House with Rebecca Hall, which I really, really loved. It's currently streaming on HBO Max, but a completely different film compared to this. But if you're looking for spooky supernatural film, check out his other film, The Night House. Really highly recommend it. But this time around, this is a reboot. We have the character of Riley. Basically, she gets out of rehab. She's struggling with her addictions, and she helps out her boyfriend, Trevor, which is played by Drew Starkey from The Outer Banks on Netflix. Really good show. Basically find the mysterious puzzle box and sets up the rest of the film.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Hellraiser really isn't one of my favorite franchises at all. I've seen the first couple movies a few times. Nothing special. It's mainly all about the gore. One thing I did notice right away, I really loved what they did with the practical effects, with the way Hellraiser looked. I really dug this design, and the design of the other Cenobites looked really awesome right away. It took me. So they really nailed it on the design. That's one thing that they really got right with this, reboot of Hellraiser. The characters were okay. I enjoyed Riley. She did a good job. Odessa, a Zion, young actress. She did a good job as Riley. She is an addict and is going through, these struggles along with her boyfriend Trevor, who we find out later has some other things planned on the side. He's kind of part of the secondary story, but they end up coming across this ancient gold contraption, basically like in the form of it's like a little cube, or like a Rubik's cube is what it reminds me of. It can go into all these different configurations or whatever. Once Riley got a hold of it, she accidentally activated it basically by twisting it, and it started unleashing hell and inviting these Cenobites into the world. And she has all these crazy visions and starts seeing some of them come to life, and it's pretty terrifying what they did with this. I love the design, and they really embrace the gore for sure.
She would like turn the box, and then there'd be like a spike that comes out through the hand. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the blood squirting on the cube essentially, and then chains pop out and start cutting into the flesh and ripping them open. It was a pretty cool opening to the movie when they kind of introduced the box early on, and what happened to this guy, as you can imagine. But yeah, with Riley's character unleashing this and bringing out these demons, Cenobites, and obviously Pinhead, played by Jamie Clayton this time around, which is a cool take on it. I thought they did a pretty good job with that. Obviously, Doug Bradley is always going to be iconic in this character and his voice, and they did something different with Jamie Clayton's voice and makeup. I was pretty close, but a little different at the same time. But I thought she did a good performance. She's not in it as much as other ones are, but I thought her presence was really known.
Yeah, she definitely had a presence. I'm not familiar with her other work here, but not knowing much about her, I thought she did a good job. Whole different take than Doug Bradley, like you mentioned, obviously, with the gender difference. But not only that, the how she looked was a little different too. But they definitely upped the ante with the gore here, with the chains and bodies being ripped apart. And behind every wild, gory horror movie, there's always some big villain. And in this one, it's a rich guy who kind of had control of the box and has this big nefarious plan, and things don't go his way, of course, and Riley ends up getting a hold of the box, and things go terrible. It's not the most original story there is or anything, and they really didn't do anything too crazy with the reboot as far as expanding upon the lore or anything like that. It's pretty standard movie. I have to say, I was expecting more. Reading a couple advanced reviews, they made it sound like it was amazing. I need to stop doing that, because you get so excited for something based on a couple initial reviews, but it's just people trying to get their name out there. And hype something that, necessarily doesn't need all the hype behind it. So it kind of fell flat, for me for the most part. There had some cool moments, but it wasn't it didn't keep me entertained for the whole time. I found myself wanting to check my phone during it, and that's never a good sign.
That all really comes down to the characters acting and story and script, right? That's where it kind of lacked for me. Some of the script and some of the characters didn't really work for me, and over the top gore. But it was a solid entry in the Hellraiser franchise. I know there's only really a few good ones, and the rest are kind of straight to VHS, straight to DVD. But this, was a solid reboot, refresh of the original Hellraiser story, Pinhead, the Cenobites, and the Chatterer, and all them coming out and their 80s punk attire. But yeah, the main actress did a pretty good job, and Trevor did a good job as well. The rest of the cast was okay. But they just kind of took me out of the story. But in terms of like the whole demonic and flesh ripping parts and the puzzle box and everything, practical effects were top notch. They really upped the ante with the gore and everything.
Yes.
Which you're going to appreciate during, obviously Halloween season, October.
Yeah.
And they did a really great job with that practical effects. Directing overall was pretty good from David Bruckner. Completely different project than his other movies. But yeah, I respect that. He tried something different and brought something new to it. And it was a fun movie. It was okay overall. I don't think it was great, or I don't think it was terrible. I thought it was just okay. And they did a pretty decent job with it.
Yeah, I agree with you too. Nothing mind bending or nothing that really, pushed the genre forward or anything. But, taking on this, franchise that's been around since 1987, he was able to update it and put his little tweaks on it, and the way he shot it, everything looked really great. I loved all the sequences that he did with them, with the Cenobites and going into their minds and playing on their fears. And then of course all the gory parts. If you love gore, you'll love this. There's a lot of gory kills in this, and I think you guys will have a good time with it. Not a total waste of time like some of the newer ones that we've watched lately, but definitely overall I think it's definitely worth a stream this Halloween season, and it's on Hulu. Most people have Hulu, so I definitely recommend it.
So that being said, I'm going to give the brand new Hellraiser movie streaming on Hulu a 3.5 out of 5 Pinhead hair pieces.
And I'll give Hellraiser on Hulu a 3 out of 5 Riley hair pieces.
So we're interested from hearing from all you wild rascals out there. What did you like about the new Hellraiser film? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Right. Check out these wild ghouls on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and horror reviews.
All this talk about the Cenobites have got me feeling pretty hungry.
Do you want to go to the local Cinnabon? First round's on me.
Well, hold on. Let's go. But first, what do we like to say? Until the next 31 Days of Horror movie review. Cheers!